Snapseed is a full-featured photo editor for both iPhones and for Android. It can be a little intimidating, but I'm going to show you how you can easily edit some photos to make them look a whole lot better. Coming at you. Hey everyone, this is Jay Caruso from Mobile Pixel, helping you ignite your mobile creativity. I'm back. It's been a while, I know, probably over a year now since I started this, and had to take a break. Lots of life changes, lots of different things going on, career changes, all that different type of stuff. And so finally I've had some time, finally got settled down in a new place, different things happening. So I am bringing this back up. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of new videos, tutorials, which is what I'm going to do today, but I'm also going to be doing product reviews. Look at the next video after this. I'm going to be reviewing a moment lens. I have some audio tools and audio devices I'm going to be reviewing, as well as gimbals, things of that nature. It's going to be pretty fun. So stick around. You know, if you're a subscriber, stay subscribed. You're going to start seeing some new videos coming up in your feed. If you're new to this and you haven't seen it before, make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to continue doing this. So for today, going to do a simple tutorial with Snapseed, one of my favorite apps, and I've done some tutorials about Snapseed before. Check those out. I've done tutorials for HDR and for using the curves tool. But in this case, this is just going to be one where I'm just going to take one image and use several tools to kind of take an image that's pretty good and make it better. So what we have here is a photo of downtown Dallas. I live in Dallas now, and I work in downtown Dallas, so I see this view pretty much every day when I'm walking to and from the parking lot where I go to the office where I work. You know, so on days, a lot of days, especially in the afternoon, there's some really great skies, and I can capture some images, and that's what I did here. Now, if you're looking at this, if you can see it, I'm going to have this up on the screen so you can see it even better. It's a good photo. The only problem is that when I took it, it exposed mostly for the sky that you see here and the clouds, and so it underexposed, or put a lot of, I don't say underexposed, but put some shadow here in the buildings. And what we're going to do is use some tools to kind of take that out. Snapseed has become a really feature-rich editing tool. I remember when I first got it, I got one of the early versions, and basically you had this tool here, the tune image. I mean, essentially there were some of these, and then there were some of those other kinds of filters that you could use. But you know, now of course, if you look, they've got curves, and they've got white balance, and they've got drama and HDR, and then of course you have lens blur and vignetting. So many different tools that you can use. But for this one, we're gonna kind of keep it simple. And so what we have here is we have, downtown Dallas, got these buildings. So what I want to do is, like I said, I want to bring out some more detail in this. And there's several ways you can go about it. If you go back to the tune image, I could use this, so it's like if I wanted to increase the brightness, I could do that, but then I lose that sky. The problem with this tune image is that it takes into account the entire image. You're not being selective, which is what you need to do when you're editing these photos. So we're going to X out of that. There's also the HDR tool. The HDR tool in this kind of instance, I don't really like it. Even if I take the filter strength down and then take the brightness down, it works better when HDR really works better when we have a multitude of colors in a photo. And this one doesn't. The buildings are all kind of the same shade, and then you have the glass, and of course you have the sky and a little bit of the trees here. So you're not looking at a very colorful image. So it doesn't really work well in this case. There's also, the curves tool. We could try that. The problem is, again, with the two differences in the photos. Now you could do it, believe it or not, if you took this into Photoshop and you're using layers, you could do it, but you don't have the advantage of layers in Snapseed. So soft contrast still doesn't give you much detail in the buildings. If you brighten it, then you lose some of that nice punch in the sky. And of course, hard contrast, just less detail. There are the kind of faded ones that a lot of people like to use for special effects. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm totally with, using those types, but it just doesn't work well for here. See this here, it makes it look, all it does is brings out detail in the buildings, but it just makes them look green. So I don't really think that works for this image. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use the drama tool. Now the drama tool, we apply it. The initial application is very bold. I think when you start this off, your filter strength for the tool is at +90, and it desaturates the photo. The desaturation, I think, works sometimes here. I don't really like it. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, the filter strength on this one is a little bit too strong. Let's take that down. Let's see, to, what are we at? About 65%. I like that. It still gives it a harder edge. If we hold down, you can kind of see what the image looked like before. So like it did open up some detail in the buildings here. Probably not as much as I like. I do like the drama that it adds to the clouds and also to the sky. But again, I don't like the desaturation. So what I'm actually going to do is go back in here and punch that up. We got it at about 53. I think that's good. 53 is good. Right around there. So you get that blue sky back, and I like that. And then the treetops you see down here, they're nice and green. But we do still have this issue of a little bit of lack of detail in the buildings. And so what we can do is we'll go ahead and we'll apply our changes on the drama tool. And now what we'll do is we'll go into this brush tool. Now the brush tool, basically what it does is it gives you the opportunity to change certain things about the image. So you have a dodge and burn, which means you have dodge and burn. You're going to dodge, you're going to like lighten an area in the image, you're going to burn in, you're going to darken it. If you're going, you can change the exposure, you can change the temperature and the saturation. The best part is you could do it in different little areas. You're not kind of limited to the whole picture. So what we'll do is we'll go to the exposure button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch that up. Let's see, I don't want to go a full stop. Let's try let's go up 0.7, and what you do is you take your finger here and and what I'm going to do is just kind of brush over that. Going to try and be careful because if you're using your fingers, so you're getting into other areas of the photo, so you just want to be careful about how far you go, so you're not lightening other areas of the photo that you don't want lightened. All right. And there we go. I think that looks good. So now what we've done, let me just go up here a little bit more on this building. There we go. You go into the white areas of the cloud, it's no big deal. You're just kind of lightening that area again a little bit more, which is fine. So there you go. So what I've done is I've taken the exposure in this area, in the areas where the building is, pumped it up just a little bit, and that just kind of gives the image a little bit more brightness, a little bit more punch. You can see the detail now in the buildings, which is really nice. You have kind of like these older buildings here, and plus the newer Comerica building and some of these other buildings over here that are kind of the newer buildings with a lot of glass and everything like that. So now you have a nice image that you're looking at in there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we will put the check mark on that. It would look good. Now you can go ahead and what you can do is you can export that out. Export it as a copy. I always say export it as a copy. You don't want to save because what that's going to do is it's going to save over your original image. Or you can export it out as an original image. But saving as a copy goes automatically. But if you just hit save when you do this, just remember it's going to save over your original images. So you're going to lose any of that original image that you have there. So just be cautious when you're doing that. So there you go. I mean, that's it. I mean, few steps. One of the things that you want to do though, when you're using these tools, is think about the photo that you're editing. Photographers, especially newer photographers, have a tendency to think that they can improve an image if they edit it the right way. Be judicious with your images. The old adage still applies. You can't polish a turd. Some of the best photographers in the world are going to hit the delete button on their cameras, whether it's on their phone or their $5,000 DSLR. They're going to do it because they know the image isn't any good and no kind of editing is going to save it. So be judicious about your images. Don't worry about getting rid of the ones that you think are bad. Don't keep them. Don't think you can make them better. Be very careful about what you're photographing, how you're looking at it, how you're composing it. and your images will get better. At some point, I'm probably going to do a little tutorial on some basic photography techniques that'll help you improve your images and how they look, and we'll be doing some other stuff. So there you have it. If you like this video, hey, do me a favor, give it a like, leave me a comment down below. Tell me, is there a specific tutorial in Snapseed that you would like to see, or is there another app where you'd like to see a tutorial done? I'm pretty good with these apps, and I've used so many of them, and I'd be happy to do a tutorial on another one if you'd like. Like I said, next video is going to be a review of one of the Moment wide-angle lenses, which I got my hands on, which I really like. But leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see, and let me know too, what are some of the favorite techniques that you found using Snapseed. It's a great app, available on Android and iPhone. So go ahead and continue to use it. And hey, you know what? Keep on shooting. Keep going out there and doing it. And the more you do it, the better it's going to get. So I'm Jay Caruso, and we'll see you next time here on Mobile Pixel.